with purpose, priority driven, relentless pursuit, always on a mission, convert, conquer, keep clear vision, SP mindset, seasoned and proven, driven. Spectators, man, for him we live and die, make no excuses, we stand and fight, face hard things, deal with it right. This is Spectators Mindsets Podcast.
This is Marco Triano, SP Mindsets Podcast, episode number 3. Topic today is priority driven. Right? Priority driven. And I just want to say this, the win is a priority. Okay? Listen, I'm a football coach, and the truth is we don't always win. Right now we are undefeated, but that's not always real all the time, right? I've had lots of good winning seasons, and I've had, fortunately, fewer losing seasons. Actually, very few. I think I've only had one losing season in my coaching career, which is not that long, by the way, but enough to have one. And lots of winning. And I'll tell you, man, obviously when we lose, the truth is we contemplate, right? We think deep, but it sucks, man. It sucks to lose. And you put in all that work to lose. And here, the goal of this is to win. We are aiming to be or become men who win. And so winning is a priority. Winning is a must. We are training our bodies, training our lives to win. When I coach football, and right now I'm not the head coach, but I'm a coach, and I tell the young boys, I say, boys, this is not practice. We're not just practicing, because a lot of times we get in practice mode and it's just like going through the motions. We're practicing this again. No, man, we are training to win, right? We are training for a win. And so today I want to talk about, the topic is being priority-driven men. In other words, why I wake up, why I live is for these priorities. And I want to break down my own personal priority system. And listen, you have your own priorities. I get it. If you're listening to me and you want to learn what mine are and you want to adopt some of them or adapt some of them, I'm fine with that. But my encouragement is to consider what I'm saying and consider making a shift. Okay? And because these can fit, the way I've got these prioritized, they can fit in any man's life. And so I want to start out with a passage and a little story of even why this is called Spectators. Okay. And the passage is from the book of Revelation, and it's Jesus himself speaking right in this passage, Revelation 2:17, and just this verse, okay, for the sake of time. Okay. This is the resurrected, ascended Jesus speaking and appearing to John, his beloved. And this is one of the things he says, Revelation 2:17, to everyone who is victorious. Remember, this is J-centric, right? We got to start there. To everyone who is victorious, I will give some of the manna that has been hidden away in heaven, and I will give to each one a white stone. And the stone will be engraved, on the stone will be engraved a new name that no one understands except the one who receives it. Now listen, fam, this is the crux, the thought behind SP. Okay, when I was living in Southern California around 2016, 2017, I would pop in on an early morning to a church called Calvary Chapel, Murrieta. I was actually a part of a different church, but I had to work in San Diego on these days, and so I would stop, right there before I went out to San Diego. And he was teaching through the book of Revelation, and he was teaching on this passage in this particular, I think this was actually a Wednesday, if I remember right, get my facts straight. But I just distinctly remember him teaching this, and I actually went and dug and found his actual notes. So these are the notes of a man, the lead pastor at the time, I think he still is, of Calvary Murrieta. His name's Brian Bell. I've met him a couple times. He doesn't know I'm talking about him on a podcast. And you may or may not like him. You may not like the movement. I don't care. But I'm quoting Brian Bell from Calvary Murrieta, and he says this. He defines spectatus, and he says, and he's quoting what he's doing. He's just talking about this passage of Revelation 2:17. To everyone who is victorious, I will give some of the manna that has been hidden away in heaven, and I will give to each one a white stone, and on that stone will be engraved a new name that no one understands except the one who receives it. Okay, go read the context. Always important, but for the sake of time. And so he's kind of describing, says, could be one historical context of that. They may have seen that white stone in this manner. That's kind of what he was. He wasn't saying this is the only way or this is exactly what it is. He was just saying, we don't know what that is other than, obviously what Jesus just said there, and only the individual that gets the stone will know the new name. But he was kind of looking for a historical, maybe something that they may have understood in the time. And this is what he gave out. And I'm going to just quote him. Okay. And this is originally, I believe, from a 531:06 teaching is what it looks like. And it says, here we go. Spectatus. And he defines, he says, the white rock of respect. Isn't that cool? The white rock of respect given to a man who has fought the good fight through perseverance and steady endurance, remaining strong in the grace to finish the race. Actually, pause. That was my definition. This is his definition. Okay, so scratch that for the note. That was not Brian Bell. That was my summary. Here we go. 2:21. This is his note. Victory. In Rome, a great gladiator was the admired hero of all, right? That's like the, MMA fighter or whatever, right? Often, or to us, maybe the star receiver or star quarterback or defensive tackle or whatever it is. Often a gladiator had to fight until he was killed in combat, right? We understand that. That's history. That's the way it was. That's hardcore. Okay? Don't get all Karen on me about this. All right? And he says, but if he had a specially illustrious career, when he grew old, he was allowed to retire in honor. Okay? This is this heartbeat of SP. This is where it came from. Me listening to this guy is where all this came from. Right. I'm sitting here listening to this and this, I'm doing all this GPS life map stuff. I'm meeting with the guys. I'm thinking long-term, how do we live? How do we keep going? Right. It's this thing of going all the way through. And it says such men were given a white stone with the letters SP on it. SP stands for the Latin spectatus, which means a man whose valor has been proven beyond a doubt. Tried, tested, proved, esteemed. Quotes Latin Dictionary. Followers of Christ, one day saint, this is Brian speaking, you will receive a stone, maybe it will say tried, tested, proven, and esteemed. Maybe SP. Spectatus. So if you've ever wondered, that was a long way around, my bad. But if you've ever wondered where I got this idea, now you know it's engraved in episode 3. Now, that was just the intro. Let's keep going. because I want to get to priority driven, right? To live our lives in a sense of priority and order of importance. When we were younger, my wife and I, even before we were married, we would go down from Monterey County, Salinas, and on a Sunday evening, we would drive down to this place called SLO. Anybody on the West Coast knows SLO as San Luis Obispo. Well, on a Sunday night, this is how hardcore we were into it, right? We would drive down to SLO, San Luis Obispo, for this thing called the Burn Service. Some of y'all remember the Burn Service with Terry Page, with, it was just this young adult gathering. Before young adult gatherings really were cool, it was kind of like when that all started happening. But man, they were just impacting, right? Like, we think about it. If you drive 2 hours to go to this gig, and the Lord would meet us every time. And so, good gig. It's now called Mercy Church and led by a guy named Terry Page. I think he's still doing it. Go check it out. Good stuff. But I remember Terry Page I think he's South African or English. They're not the same, but they are sort of the same, right? To us Westerners, right? He asks me, and I distinctly hear it in like a South African accent, so I'm going to give it a try. He asked me this. He says, "Are you winning? Are you winning?" That was horrible. Are you winning? He said it a lot manlier than that and a lot more legit in his accent. But the question is, are you winning? And I know that's just like you just asked me, like, I don't know, I think it was the Holy Spirit. Because, man, that question hit me. Are you winning? Like, he just asked me that personally, like in passing, like, hey, instead of like, hey, how you doing? He's like, are you winning? Dang, dude. I was like, I don't think I was winning. I mean, there was some pretty cool aspects of my life. I think my potential wife would be one of them, at the time, Andrea, and, married now, looking back, she was a win. Obviously we didn't have kids, we weren't married, but you get the point. Are you winning? And listen, this is an important question, and this isn't just motivation, manly motivation, right? The reality is, man, this is a good question. Like, am I winning? And if I'm not, how do I start winning? That's what this whole thing is heading towards. These are the mindsets. And I'm going to hit my SP mindsets here. We're going to go through my kind of 4 main priorities in that. There's 4 of each. So there's 12 SP mindsets that we really look at here. And in this, look, man, we are aiming to become this spectatus man, right? This man who we really don't have a choice to fight, right? I'm in this world. I was put on the planet after Adam and Eve. So post Genesis 3, and here I am. And we just have to fight, man. We have to fight. That's life on planet Earth. As an old mentor used to say, thumb out of mouth, feet forward, right? Get up out of the fetal position, right? We got to fight. And so if I'm going to fight, I want to win. I want to not tap out, right? If I'm going to fight, I want to be the one standing. We're not talking about fighting people here, okay? Don't get Karen on me, okay? Moving forward. But we have to be the spectatus man, like I have to have my priorities in order. I do. I have to. Right? And I have to live for something, right? I have to have, as I've said before, something to live for and something to die for, right? And so we are aiming to become priority driven and winning, right? I want to win in my priorities. I call them battlefronts. Okay, as we get into the mindsets, as I expand on them, I talked J-centricity last time, but as we expand on them, right, we are we are aiming to win on these battlefronts. And the way we're going to win is by developing a relentless endurance, right? That relentless endurance will produce in us, in me, in you, a seasoned, proven man, an SP man, a spectatus man. We got to be relentless. We got to be aggressively maintaining intensity. We have to keep our endurance to stay in without tapping out. And to do this, listen, confronting the hard things, facing the hard things, conquering, learning to win, conquering, and then continuing to win, right? I look at it like this: face it, beat it, sustain it. Face it, beat it, sustain it. Face it, beat it, sustain it. So as an SP mindset, as a man who is aiming to become a spectatus, man, we are priority driven, aiming to become men who win. That is the introduction to the introduction. All right. Now today, listen, I want to focus on this priority driven lifestyle, right? I'm going to share my priorities in order, and there's something like this. My first priority is my faith. It is because listen, when my beloved family passes away, and I'm as the dad, if things go right, I'll be the guy to pass away before anybody else. None of that's guaranteed. We all understand that. Right? We don't shake our fist at God when bad things happen. But Jesus will remain. Even when my own body fails me, when my heart stops, my lungs stop breathing, right? Jesus will remain. And so I will make him my priority. He is God, right? And I'll get into faith again. I talked briefly on it in J-centricity. Secondly, my family. My family must be my second priority. And what I mean by that is I don't mean let's put church and doing churchy things before my family and use that as an excuse to why I neglect my family. I just mean my wife, and I'll get into it, my wife and my children, they need to be, see, we're talking about being priority driven. They have to be at the top of the list. My household has to be at the outside of Jesus himself. You understand that? At the top of the list. Thirdly, my fitness. Okay. Some of you may be watching on what is something like a video, and maybe you can, or maybe you cannot see my little F3. I am an F3 man. I'm about F3. Love it. Currently a Site Q Fort Payne. We just got some good gear. Wish you could have one, but sorry, they're gone. Anyway, look, man, fitness is a priority. Why? Why is it a life priority? Why am I driven by fitness as a priority? So that I can function really, really well, right? So that I can think straight, so that I can perform at work, be excellent at what's good, right? So that I can be there for my family, so that I can be a role model for my family. One of the things my dad, he's still alive at this point, and excited that he's moving out this direction from the good old CA. But one of the things he really just modeled for me was fitness. I mean, my dad was always in karate or running or weightlifting or doing something that's just solid. You know what I mean? And so he put that in me. So I put that in my own son, my children, right? Fitness is a part of every one of my children's life, right? Everyone, be it a sport, be it track, be it football, be it now wrestling, be it baseball, be it just going to the gym, all of my kids, right? It's a legacy, right? Fitness. And then finances, right? Finances is my fourth F. We cannot make that the first F, family. That is idolatry. We cannot be greedy, right? But we got to think about our money. We've got to get our money straight. We've got to work our money right. And so finances is our fourth really priority, right? Why we work, why we do what we do. All right, man. So all of this, and again, we're going there, would be put in a GPS life map. I'm not trying to sell that to you. It really is an amazing tool, but we'll get down to that later, okay? Proverbs 4:25 and 27, it says this in the NLT. You religious Pharisees, stop getting your panties in a bunch over the NLT. It says this, look straight ahead and fix your eyes on what lies before you. Mark out a straight path for your feet. Stay on the safe path. Don't get sidetracked, and keep your feet from following evil. And listen, fam, we've got to do this, right? We've got to not get sidetracked. We've got to mark out a straight path for our feet. We've got to look straight ahead and fix our eyes on what lies before you. Listen, we're about to get into these priorities. I'm going to generally go over them, then I'm going to go one more time over them a little bit more in depth, okay? And listen to this. This is, remember Don Williams. I've quoted him before. I'm going to probably use this line a lot. Shallow diagnosis, shallow cure. So I bet you didn't know I was going to take you on this deep dive of your life. You thought you were just going to listen to a podcast from Marco Triano. Listen, if these are not your priorities, my challenge to you is to change your mind. A little sip of coffee there. Metanoia, right? Change your mind. Change the way you think. Change your priorities. Get your priorities straight. Anybody ever told you that? You ever heard that line? Why is that a line? Because that's a thing. Because we live with priorities that are out of whack, right? In my opinion, I'm not saying these are the 10 commandments, right? Thou shalt. None of that, man. Just bear with me. Shallow diagnosis, shallow cure. Are these your priorities? Are your priorities anything near this? And if they're not, consider straightening them out. Here we go. These are the battlefronts that we need to win in and occupy, confront, conquer, and continue to win in. Talked about these last time. Number 1 is my faith. Number 2 is my family. Number 3 is my fitness. Number 4 are my finances. Now I've got 4. I've got a 1.1, 1.2, 3, and 4, all that for each one of these, okay? Ready? I talked about this last time, but friendship with Jesus should be the priority of my life. Knowing the Lord, knowing him, loving him, pursuing him, walking with him in and out, strong in his grace, full of his spirit, staying connected, remaining in Christ. That's number 1, friendship with Jesus. Number 2, restored life. Okay, now listen, just real quick, these can be something you can fixate on and focus on for 40 days. So when we take the 40-day refocus, right, what we simply do is take one of these from each category and focus and press in on that one thing for 40 days. You think if you do that, something's going to change? Promise you. What if you do nothing in the next 40 days? Is anything going to change? What if you keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over? Sounds like freaking misery, right? Got you. RL 1.2, restored life. It is something that the power of Christ, the power of the gospel, the power, the authority of the truth rooted and grounded in my life, Christ heals our lives. Plain and simple. Okay? Again, I'm not against psychology, but the minute you lay psychology as a necessary, tool outside of Christ, as if Christ has no power, I don't want to hear about it, fam. Okay? I want you to find restored life in Jesus Christ first. Then we can talk about other things, right? FJ, friendship with Jesus. RL, restored life. These are my priorities. DT, discipleship training. Sometimes that's just me digging in and being his disciple. Some seasons that's taking maybe a younger guy aside and having coffee with him week by week. And that's what, some amazing guys did with me back when I first came into Christ, came into the faith. So it could be either, hey, I'm locking in as, his disciple, really digging into the scriptures, really growing in my knowledge of God, growing in my understanding, digging into the scriptures, or it's me taking that knowledge and imparting it to somebody who's new in the faith. But that's a priority. Why is that a priority? Why is that a life priority? Because Jesus commanded you and me to make disciples, not just to sit in a church building and parade in and out one Sunday a month. Fam, that is not Christianity, right? Then have a bumper sticker, right? No, come on, man. Or a t-shirt if you're really hardcore. If you're really hardcore, you got a cross tattooed on you. Fam, go make disciples. That needs to be a priority because Jesus said, go do this. Is Jesus Lord or not? Listen, I'm going to rub right against our American Christianity. And we could talk about how to go do it, how to be it more later, or go get discipleship training. You understand? These are the priorities. Number 1.4 is Jesus's mission. Family. This is not just for the missionaries. If you are a missionary, thank you for modeling, right? For going and getting it, going and doing it, going and advancing the gospel, doing all you know how to do to make him known, to make that name, that beautiful name, Jesus known. Well done. Keep moving. This is not a slam against missionaries, but it is a slam against a mindset that says, I will pay you to go do what I do not want to do. Lazy American mindset. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. That is not good, right? That is not who we are. Listen, the mission of Jesus. I think I've told you this before, but let me go at it again. You ready for this? I'm in love. I cannot stop talking about the one I love, right? I have, this steak that I had, you have got to taste the amazing flavor of this steak at this restaurant. That's an evangelist, right? You've tasted and seen that something is good and nobody has to twist my arm to tell everybody about it. So my faith, it's friendship with Jesus, restored life, discipleship training, Jesus's mission. Number 2, my second life priority is my family. And those of you who are married, your wife, because I'm talking to men here, right? Kingdom men, your wife is your priority. Look, man, been married for 25 years. I'm sure my wife will tell you I have not done that perfectly. But this has really helped me to get back and realize, sheesh, man, like I need to give some really important attention to my wife, right? And there are seasons, right? There are ebbs, there are flows. But I'll tell you, man, it prioritizing your wife, right? Spending time with her, praying with her, encouraging her, being with her, right? Man, that honestly, if you do that with a good attitude and don't even tell her you're doing it, you just do it, only going to benefit your marriage. Okay. We'll get more into all this in later days, but the 2.2. So that's 2.1. So the very top of my family is my wife and I, right? Our marriage. And so prioritizing her. That doesn't mean submitting to her, man. Okay. That doesn't mean that she submits to you like a dog. Remember the scripture says this, right? We know the submit scripture, right? Listen, I'm not against it. I think it's right. But what does it say to submit to? Husbands, love your wives like Christ loved the church. So before you tell her submit, okay, because, man, I'm telling you, some men got it way off, way off, man. Seriously, this is not shut down your wife hour, make her your dog, right? Treat the dog better than your wife. That is not the topic, man. That's not where we're going with this. Listen, but she should have no problem submitting to a man that loves her like Christ loves the church. I can't say I've achieved it, but I'll tell you the truth, man. I am, because I'm a Christian, I'm going after it. So prioritize your wife, PW. Okay? 2.2. one more note on that last one. Again, she should have no problem following the lead. That's because really that's what we're talking about here, right? Following the lead of a man who loves her like Christ has loved us. Man, that is deep, 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 deep. Whew, okay. 2.2, IC. What does that stand for? Investing in your children. Investing in, listen, I send my kids to school, public school, qualify that. It's in Tennessee, okay? Things are a lot different, man. I'm telling you, I came over here and my son is now calling people yes, sir, yes, ma'am, right? Yes, sir. Everybody addresses me as yes, sir, yes, ma'am. Every youth, I'm telling you, there's not one youth who has not called me yes, sir, that I can think of, unless, you know, it was a different context. But you get what I'm saying. The culture here is way different than a lot of the places I've been, or not like California anyway. But I'm not leaving to the school the investment into my children. Coffee sip, right? Who is the number one responsible party to invest into their lives everything I have to give them? It is me. Okay? Again, I'm not claiming I'm doing this stuff perfectly, but I'm aiming to become this. And I want to invite you to prioritize this way and you be invited to become this, the primary investor in your child's life. Each child's different, right? Seasons, again, ebb and flow. I understand that. But imagine a 40-day season of focusing on investing into your children, the things that you know they need. All right? 2.3, family time. Family time. Okay? Man, oh man, we go hard. I'm telling you, I go hard. I mean, I'm just saying that. I'm sure you go harder than me, but here's an example of something that I do 3-4 times a week. I wake up at 4 something. I go to F3. I come home, shower, get to work all day. After work, come home, pick up my son, go to football practice, get home at 8:30, eat dinner, chill out, go to bed. Okay. Well, if I do that over and over and over and over and over and over and over, I mean, it's fun. I love it. I love all of it. I'm blessed, right? Blessed to get to do it. But when does our family hang out, right? I mean, my son, I hung out with him on the drive, right? Hung out with him while I was, coaching him in football, yelling at him, get it right, but that's not family time. And so imagine a season, right? A 40-day press where you specifically said, hey, listen, fam, for the next month and a couple weeks, we're going to every single night spend time together, or every once a week, or whatever it is. But you understand how family time should be, and it's right to be a priority. 2.4, trying to get through this so that this is not a 5-hour podcast. HM. Ready for this? Household management. Man, how do I do that all week and manage my household? I got bills in the house to pay. I've got grass to be mowed. I've got clothes that need to be, put in the closet right. You name it, right? We got dinners that need to be cooked. We've got grocery shopping that needs to happen. Thank God for my wife. I don't know how it works with your wife. My wife picks up a whole lot of slack. She's amazing in that, right? And she works hard too, right? She works hard too. She's not a stay-at-home mom like some of y'all privileged wives. No, I'm just kidding. Don't want to get you all upset. Take a sip of coffee, though. I don't think she would stay at home if she could. I think she'd rather be out there on the grind. She's amazing. But here we go. household management. So with all this stuff going on, right? Work out early, go to work, come home, go back to football practice, get home late, do it again. How do we manage our household? Imagine some of y'all households may be out of whack. And so getting it to the place where we are managing our households well. That's what leaders do, right? The scriptures even actually say that those who are leading us must manage their household and their families well. And so, hey, man, this has to be a priority. All right, moving on up to priority número tres. Priority número tres, number 3, and that is our fitness. And this is my breakdown. This is my life priority of fitness. Again, however it works for you, you may say, dude, you are whack. Then just turn this off. That's fine with me. Not going to bother me much. Okay. I'm sure I'll get some haters, but here we go. HD 3.1. So priority driven, right? So priority number 3 is healthy diet. 3.1 HD. I'm telling you, man, I see it. I see guys work out so dang hard and we still have a belly, right? We still, and look, man, some of you are looking at me, some of you are not. I've lost a major belly. I still got a little bit to go, but it begins with our diet. Okay. I'm not going to tell you which diet that you have to do this diet. If you don't do this diet, you can't hang with me. You can't be a spectator man. I really don't care. If you can make it work, if it's healthy, it's a healthy diet, right? For me, what works best for me is something of a ketogenic diet. Okay, I'm not going to be the keto kingdom over here, but I may give you a recipe or two. I may encourage you in that. Guys around me in F3, they do the queen. They'll do it together. They'll do it in seasons and sessions, whatever works for you, man, but you need to figure out what your healthy diet is. But it's important, right? We start there. Even if I can't exercise, right? Like I need to eat right. And hey, look, man, and I've confessed it publicly, right? I am a chip addict. That's right. I'm a chip addict, right? Those jalapeno kettle chips, bro, that is like, that is my crack. You know what I mean? So definitely not interested in smoking crack, but if I could smoke a kettle chip, I just might. No, I'm just kidding. But you get the point, man. I'm the guy. I'm the late night snacker. I struggle, but keto really helps me because I feel good. But that's just me. So listen, HD, whatever it is, make it a priority in your life to get that diet straight, to get on some kind of consistent eating thing. Okay. Number 2, my 3.2. So this is priority, general priority 3, and that's fitness. So my first 3.1 is healthy diet. My 3.2 is PT, physical training. Okay. For me, it's funny. Listen, I laid my third priority before I even heard of F3, right? Years before I even heard of F3. And it's funny that fitness is my third priority. It really just fit right in. Whether I, for the rest of my life, get the tattoo on my forehead or whatever, I don't know, but I'm about it. I recommend it. If wherever you are, you have an F3, I would say if it was the gym only or F3 only, I would go to F3. Because what you're doing there is not only are you physically working out, but you're getting some partnership and you're learning endurancing in the gloom and the cold weather and the hot weather and the rainy weather. This morning we just worked out, circle of men in pouring rain. It was a blast. So whatever you do, 3.2, make it a life priority to make physical training a part of your life. Whatever you're doing, running, rucking, body weight, if you're in the gym, it's fine. Go to the gym, right? But be consistent, get focused, get in there and get out of there. Have a plan. Okay. Don't just walk around talking to people and occasionally lift a weight. All right. Priority 3.3 is HI health issues. Health issues, man. Hey, man, we've got to We've got to make it a priority to deal with our health issues. Look, I'm that guy, I don't even have a doctor, right? That's probably bad to say, unless I really need something, right? So like back, not too long ago, I went to the doctor for just a checkup. They're like, hey, you got high cholesterol, super high triglycerides, ketogenic. But listen, man, you've got to face stuff, right? You got to face stuff. You got something in your body that ain't right. You got to fix it, man. And you got to make that a priority, right? Because listen, ultimately, this is about others. This is about your family. Not only feeling good, right? Let alone feeling good, but we've got to face our health issues. Sometimes they're scary, man. I get it, right? I get it. Health issues. For the sake of moving forward, 3.4. Some of y'all are going to like this, R&R. This is a fitness priority, R&R. It is exactly what it sounds, rest and relaxation. Rest and recovery. Really, it's rest and recovery, right? Part of that is relaxing. But hey, man, you need a down day, at least a down day, right? You need a Sabbath, a chill, right? Not getting religious on you, right? Don't worry. But you need a down day or some kind of break, really, for those muscles, right, to recover, right? Because the truth is, man, you go. Nobody can go. There's no Energizer bunny here, right? None of you are. Some of you running bunnies, though. I don't know. Anyways, so making it a priority, and some guys. I've had guys that don't do a thing, and they're like, oh, I'm going to make R&R my 40-day priority, to sit on the couch and do nothing. That's not what R&R means, fam. Rest and recovery is only after you've done the healthy diet, physical training, and these go in order, right? These are prioritized order. So you don't do one without the other. You understand that, right? You don't skip over physical training and say, oh, I'm just going to do R&R. Don't be stupid. Okay. That's not what I'm saying here. But once, if you've hit it hard, right, you've worked out all week, and man, you've been on the grind and you've been priority driven in your fitness, then that's when R&R needs to be, because some guys don't take that, right? And they end up just like getting sick, so take that R&R. Okay, but imagine making that a priority for 40 days, right? Like, okay, man, like I'm going to get that chill in. I'm going to get that that detox in. I'm going to get that just relax in. That's what I'm doing there. All right, man, moving on to priority number 4. I am not, you've said it before, I am not your financial guru that's going to make you rich. If you're looking to become a millionaire, I think this could make you a millionaire. I really do, but I'm not your guy, right? But I do at the same time. I think that this stuff, the basics of what I'm bringing to you, again, there are financial gurus for this, and I'm not that guy. But this is what I'm going after here, right? Okay. The first thing you need, listen, fam. Some people have no problem with this. Okay. Some people really, really struggle with this. And some people are in the middle and need to work on this. And it's 4.1. So priority 4 is my finances, but 4.1 is SI, and that stands for sustainable income. Sustainable income. We live in America. You need a sustainable income, an income that will sustain you and your family into the future. Okay. Listen, there are so many different ways to view this, and I'm not getting into all of them, but a couple things to say about them. Everybody has a different lifestyle, right? If you are one of those guys, you need your big house, you need your big truck, you need your big boat. That's totally fine, man, right? Just make sure you're not going into the hole for all that stuff, right? Especially way too deep, right? So if you have that kind of lifestyle, you need that income to sustain it, right? The flip side is you're just scraping by. Like, a lot of Americans, right, and I'm talking about with an income, a decent income. There's a lot of guys that have a great income, but they're just squeaking by. And look, man, we need to figure out how to get that income up. We need to figure out what is a sustainable income for my family. What is a reasonable lifestyle, or what kind of lifestyle financially am I wanting to live? And then I need to figure out how to make that a priority. But listen, I just want to clarify, this is not a priority over your friendship with Jesus. This is not a priority over prioritizing your wife, and this is not a priority over your health. But now all those things intact, it is a priority, right? It's a priority, man, right? I don't want to see you homeless living under a bridge. Listen, again, I've mentioned my other gig, and I talk to people all the time who are struggling in poverty, living in their cars. I mean, all kinds of misfortune. Listen, man, there's nothing spiritual about that. Okay, moving on. Get a sustainable income. Make that a priority. Okay. What is, I don't know, one of those big wigs once said something like, make as much as you can, give as much as you can, and save as much as you can, and spend as much, something like that. Go get a sustainable income, man. Number 2, generous giving. GG, generous giving. When I give to the church, and I do, okay, and we'll get into this a bit, in my memo, I've put generous giving. I don't put tithe. I don't put, the debt I owe to the bookie because God is going to smite me if I don't give. Man, there's been so much goofy teaching about giving. I'm just going to say this, man. Be generous. And be generous from your heart. Give from your heart. Give to the Lord. Should you tithe? There's probably a whole podcast for that. I'm not against it. Tithe as a new covenant, it's just should you be generous? Yes. Should you give to the local church? Absolutely. Should you only give 10%? Not necessarily. Maybe you should give more. Really, you should give what you've decided in your heart to give, and give it with faith, and give it unto the Lord, and know that the Lord sees. But give the Lord the first fruits and honor him with that. That's what I got to say about that for now. But be generous. And I say this, and I'll be honest with you, we do give to the church, but there are times where if we find that somebody is in need and we have that money, and it's like, oh, I can give to the local church or give to someone in need. And I know everyone's going to have a different opinion on this, and that's totally fine. Okay. Sometimes we'll give to, like a single mom but I don't want to lose my reward in heaven. You get what I'm saying. Don't be so locked into there's only one place. But at the same time, fam, I think that the local church should be, if you're a part of one, which if you're not, I encourage you to get into one, right? Should be the place where you are mainly, consistently releasing that generosity, that gift where the Lord's provided for you. Okay, give to them so that they're sustained, right? Think about your leaders and pay those who teach you, okay? Number 4.3 is SD. Now, that does not stand for San Diego, although go Padres at this current moment in the playoffs, going toe-to-toe with the Dodgers, but have clinched the playoff spot. I am a San Diego fan, as we lived in Corona and my daughters lived in the North County of San Diego for some years. I love San Diego. I think it's one of the best cities in the world. But SD does not stand for San Diego. So it stands for savings and debt. Savings and debt. Now, there's a guy whose building is just a couple hundred yards from the place that I work, and his name is Dave Ramsey. Hope I don't get in trouble for dropping the name Dave Ramsey on my podcast, but honestly, a lot of people have lots of opinions, if you want to be like really schooled on savings and debt, you should push pause on this podcast and go listen to Dave Ramsey. Okay. He is seasoned and proven in this particular area of finances and savings and debt. So I recommend you go listen to him or somebody like him, like a Larry Burkett who's passed away, but go get some wisdom, man. Right? Again, I'm not your financial guru. I've got this as a life priority. I've got, things to say about this. I've got direction to go, but imagine for 40 days, you focused on your savings and debt, right? Getting your savings right. I like his emergency fund thought, right? Maybe it needs to be a little bit more in the days of inflation, but you get it. Your savings, you got to have a savings, man, and you got to pay off debt, okay? Number 4.4. So the last priority of my life, but a priority, making the cut of priority, making the final cut of priority is 4.4 BF. And no, there's no D on there, right? Come on. Building for the future. Okay, this is it, man. This is finances, sustainable income, generous giving, dealing with getting savings and dealing with debt, and then building for our future. And when I think building for the future, I do think legacy, family. I think that a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. And so to really grow in that, to really have that is a very important goal in our lives. Okay? Check it out. I do, and this is not on the list, but this is a very important F. You ready for this? F-U-N. Come on, man. What'd you think I was going to say? F-U-N. Fun. Have some flipping fun in life, man. Have some fun. Live your priorities, but have fun. Good, clean fun, by the way. Okay? Don't get sidetracked. Keep your feet from following evil, but have fun. It's a fifth sort of unspoken F, right? And that F could be whatever fun is for you is different for somebody else, right? Your fun is not my fun, right? I don't think it's fun to, I don't think golf is fun. I hate golf. Sorry. I don't think basketball is fun. God bless you, right? But I think football is a blast. I'm out there at, coaching these kids. I'm like, there's nothing I'd rather be doing right now, right? Go have some fun. I'm out there at a football game, on the sidelines, as a part of the coaching staff. And I'm thinking, dude, this is so much fun. Thank you, Lord. So listen, get your priorities right and then go have fun. You hear what I'm saying? These make it fun and have fun doing these things, right? These are not like digging a ditch, man. Like friendship with Jesus, there's nothing better than that, right? There's nothing better than that. So let me give you a quick recap. We're coming up on an hour. How about that, huh? Here we go. Ready? In prioritized order. JM, Jesus, primary passion, only obsession, right? Every other obsession is idolatry and addiction. It's self-centered destruction. So make Jesus your primary passion. RL, be strong in the grace that's in Christ, right? Don't be bound by religious condemnation or dominated by the inner sinner. Okay? Restored life. Let the Lord heal your heart. The healing comes from walking with Jesus. He restores our life as we forgive, as we obey, as we love, as he sets us free. He liberates us. Restored life. DT, right? Let your interests be Jesus' interests. Jesus is interested in you becoming his disciple, you being trained as a disciple, and you training others as a disciple. This is not pulling teeth, family. This is good stuff. Number 1.4, priority, his mission. Making his mission my mission. Come on, man. That is maturity. That is Christian maturity. We need to move from sitting in a seat to maturity, right? Jesus didn't come to build an audience, right? He came to mobilize an army of people who love him and love the world and make his name famous. Then we have family before self, right? 2.0 is my family. Love my wife. Love my wife. Love my wife. Prioritize my wife. 2.2, investing in my children, right? Being the primary investor in my child's life. 2.3, family time. Investing in our togetherness. 2.4, managing my household, running my household like a well-oiled machine. My household needs some oil. How about y'all? Tennessee's rubbing off on me. 3.1 HD, healthy diet, eating for excellence, right? Eating in the sense that I'm going to have physical training, right? So do I eat chips as carbs to carb up, or do I eat a sweet potato? You get what I'm saying? 3.2, physical training, training to win, training for the win. 3.3, face my health issues, remove every possible obstacle that would allow me to lose the game on this battlefront. R&R, I work hard and I rest hard. R&R, right? Rest, recovery, let the muscles recover, man. 4.1, sustain my income, make as much money as absolutely possible. 4.2, generous giving, give as much of my money generously to the right places as absolutely possible. SD, save as much money as absolutely possible. And the D, eliminate all debt, right? This is a battlefront, man. This is a battlefront. BF, finally, last thing I got to say here is build now for the future so that we can rest later and give to our children's children. This is Marco Triano, SP Mindsets Podcast, living a priority-driven life. Signing off.
This is Spectators Mindsets Podcast.